welcome to the Integrate This EdTech podcast. We are continuing our Google Classroom series with Gemini. And today, Jeremy is going to actually show us the connection between Google Gemini and now NotebookLM being part of that. So traditionally, right, both tools have been separate. And so we want to take a look at how you as a teacher can incorporate the use of NotebookLM directly into Google Classroom. And Jeremy's going to help us with that.
Yeah, so honestly, one of the most exciting things I think that is happened here recently that Google has done is bringing NotebookLM fully integrated into the Google Classroom space. I know when I first started using NotebookLM probably over a year ago, this was kind of like the ultimate dream scenario I could see happening here between these two tools, because they're both just fantastic, and I love using NotebookLM. And now to have a way that I can use NotebookLM's space to provide an opportunity for my students to use that AI integration with the content that I choose to provide to that notebook. And if you are unfamiliar with NotebookLM, I really strongly suggest you go to one of our previous episodes where we dive deeper into NotebookLM, and maybe I'll even link that into the description of this one, or suggest that as the video to click at the end, that you can go and definitely find out more about all the great things that you can do with NotebookLM. So I have open here one of my classroom groups, and I'm in the classwork tab, because this is where I'm going to bring NotebookLM into the mix of using it in Google Classroom with assignments. So there's two different ways I can go about adding NotebookLM into an assignment. The first way here is just to hit the Create button and choose NotebookLM from the list of types of assignments or activities that you would like to bring in. And so I'm going to choose this right here. So now it gives me a couple of different options here. One of them is to create a new notebook, or I can select an existing one. If I choose to select an existing one, it knows to go search all of my notebooks that I have, right? Several of them there. And I can choose to bring any one of those into this assignment in Google Classroom, right? If I find the one that I would like to do, and click on that, and then it would insert it. I'm going to show you, though, how to create one here with a new NotebookLM. So I'm going to choose to create new, and I'm going to put it into kind of like my unit 4 that I have for this class. There's 5 items that are in there, and what it's going to do is it's going to take those 5 items and make that the sources of my notebook. And so then whatever a student would need to interact with is going to be based upon the content that I provided for them, which is really kind of neat. So here I am inserting it. And now when I share that tab, you can see that it's adding in the different sources that are over here. Now, if this is great, if these are the sources that I want, that's totally fine. If I want to add more content to it, I'm definitely able to do that. Maybe I had another file that I want them to be able to access that's from my Google Drive. I can go choose and add it from my Google Drive there. Or another new feature here, if you've not looked into NotebookLM recently, you can actually use AI and Gemini here to discover other resources, either within your Google Drive or from the web that I think is going to relate to what it is that is the focus of that particular notebook. And so you can add them that way. For right now, I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to put this in here. Let's call it an AI ethics brainstorm. Okay. So now you want to make sure to name your notebooks. Otherwise, when they're just titled untitled, it's hard to know what's in each of them. Trust me, I know that kind of from experience. And so now within here, you're going to be able to access kind of the chat features that are here, or the studio features that are part of NotebookLM. Okay, so now if I go back to this classroom here, All right, so here I'm creating a notebook here, and it's going to be for this module 4 that you see right here. And I'm going to go and I'm going to have it create this notebook. And as it does that, it made the notebook and gave me all of the different tools within NotebookLM that I'm able to use. You could see that it has the chatbot here, as well as the studio tools that are there, which are great, by the way, creating audio or video overviews, or maybe flashcards or quizzes, or even generating summary reports. Just is a great way to bring some of the main points of your lessons together. But back in Google Classroom, you could see that it added in Notebook LM into the assignment here as one of the resources that students have available to them. So if I want this to just be an AI ethics brainstorm, for example, I can do that. I can then assign it out to all students, or I could embed it into one of the topics for that particular class. And then I just post the assignment like I normally would. And it's going to show up in a couple of different places here in Google Classroom. You're going to see that it put it as a learning tool right at the top of everything. So what this allows then is students to interact with it anytime that they need to. If they're using it to quiz themselves before a big unit test comes up, I mean, that's kind of a cool thing, and it's a great feature to make available for them. It also is going to place it down in that unit or that topic area where I put it. And then as the student is going to access this, they're going to be able to interact with the chat space that's there to help them better digest the content that you've made available for them. So a really neat feature to be able to show. The second way here that you can add a notebook is if you go in and you create assignment, and you have these different tools that are made available for you, you will notice that NotebookLM is one of those there. And so when you open it up, it's going to bring up a screen where you're going to basically go through the same steps that you did before. Okay. One more thing to add here about using NotebookLM with students, and I'm going to open up the brainstorm activity here that I had in a notebook and share that tab here. And I want you to notice here on the teacher side of the notebook here, underneath the studio, there's different types of tools that teachers are able to choose from to be able to allow access to their students. And so easy way for you to be able to do that is to just generate these different tools, and it creates them and it puts them underneath here in the feed underneath the studio tools. And then once that they have been generated, then a student is going to be able to interact with those different tools that you've enabled for them. So let me show that to you now. From the student's perspective, here I am under a students tab, and I'm going to open up this notebook that the teacher had shared, like I had showed you a little bit earlier. And now you're going to see made available to the students is going to be the chat space in the middle. And it gives a summary of the sources there, and it allows students to be able to interact here, but it also allows students to be able to interact with the tools that you have shared to them. For example, this teacher has shared an audio overview, which is that podcast-like thing that NotebookLM will play, and also flashcards and a quiz, just some multiple choice questions that a student could use to practice with before they were going to have a big assessment. So these are all great things that I think you can be able to use inside of Google Classroom along with NotebookLM. So I hope you give these things a try. And if you do, I hope they are successful for you, and happy integrating.